Welcome back to the channel. We're continuing this series of where to fossil hunt in Yorkshire and around the coast, particularly fossilizing on those big sites that everyone knows of and hears about. I have covered Whitby already, so now we're going to look at probably the second most visited spot in that. It's called Sandsend. Sandsend is a little tiny town just to the sort of west-northwest of Whitby, and it's got multiple places you can get to it from. So the car parks are fairly obvious. There's the big one right on the coast. There's another one down here that opens through the summer. And you can park on a lot of the roads going in towards Whitby and along this section here. You will need money to pay for all of these, although the ones here, the public parking lot in Sandsend and on the coast roads, you can get these for free between, I think it's the end of October and March. So the winter months, effectively, there is free parking. Do double check that, and don't blame me if you find that there isn't free parking at the time. Do double check yourselves. If you need public toilets, there are some here. There's also public toilets just here at the end of this parking lot. If you're coming by public transport, bus stops right here that you can use to get in either from up to the north or from Whitby. You can stop here. When you get here, go through the car park, and then you want to follow the path just to the side of the car park up the set steps, and they get you on to the Cleveland Way. The Cleveland Way you can follow along. I'm going to zoom out just to speed it up, all the way along, and you'll get past some old workings and get up to this point here. If you get to the tunnel, which is actually just in here, you've gone too far, so just come back on yourself. And you're looking for a little tiny path down here. This path you can then follow down. These steps are not awful, they're not great, but they are definitely easily enough done. And you cross a little bridge over this little stream that runs down here, and then you get down a set of steps right here. These steps at the bottom onto the beach have washed out through winter storms and are not always in place. At the minute, as of this time that I'm presenting this, midsummer 2023, the bottom few steps have gone, and this last few bits is actually a little slippery and treacherous to get down. You can easily do it if you're fit, but I would suggest against taking kids down this that are young. Once you're on the beach, you can fossil hunt this little cove and this little section here all the way around, all the way up. I'm going to zoom out again just because it's easier. Up to this point here fairly easily. This section here is heavily picked though, so unless there's been a fresh fall, you will probably not find an awful lot, but there are some good little oval nodules that contain the crustacean parts in here. I've always had more luck on the second section of beach here, and you do find a lot more. It's not as heavily picked, there's more falls, and it all gets washed fairly well. Once you get from here, you can keep going. There's a few sections here, there's another big cove here, and a set of beaches that walk all the way up to Kettleness and around the corner to Runswick Bay. You can do this entire walk if there's a good tide, and when I say a good tide, I mean a very big tide. So you can take advantage of that and walk the whole thing if you want. It's a fair trek, but you can do it. Most of this section you will not have phone signal if you are down there and anything happens, so you do need to take that into consideration. The best places to get phone signal is pretty much all the way back here, and in fact probably on the top of the cliffs. If for whatever reason you get cut off, and there are quite a few cut-off points, most of this does disappear underwater at high tide, you can find safety in this section here. There's a few big stones that mark it here, and it's a safe spot. There's also a rope. It doesn't mean it's safe. There's a rope up here near Goldsboro that you can get out if you have to. Again, I would strongly suggest your best option is just to chill here, wait for the tide to go back out, and you can get out that way. The other things to be aware of, no, I mean, there's nothing else really to be aware of. The other things to just note, it's a fairly productive site for pretty much every type of ammonite that you can find from the Upper Lias. It's just a case of being lucky on the day.